So, good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Roslyn Fernandesindo from BA1C, and I am one of the last group reporter in Cooperative in Management, headed by Mr. Daniel Gacos. So, my report is about how are the officers of the cooperative chosen. The board of directors elect among themselves only the chairman and vice chairman. Then they say they either elect or appoint the other officers needed by the cooperative. Okay, so guys, ang election sa officers sa co-op is dili pareha sa regular nga election. Ang board of directors mag-elect among themselves lang for chairman o vice chairman. So for example, if naa sila 5 ka board member, sila ra ang magbutar-butaran kung kinsa ang chairman. Then after ana is sila na pod ang mo-elect or mo-appoint sa uban officer nga kinahanglan sa co-op like secretary, treasurer, or etc. So in short, it's like internal lang ang voting, dili siya open to all members. Example, kung naamoy co-op sa inyong barangay and appeal ka sa board, then kamo lang ang magboto kung kinsa ang mahimong chairman. Then the next one is what are the committees needed by a cooperative. Through by the law, a cooperative may form any committee it thinks necessary for its cooperation. An executive committee may also be formed. The board of directors appoints its member and may through a majority vote delegate powers to it. So, through the bylaws, ang co-op pwede mag-form o committee anytime basta kay necessary sa ilang operation. Like, for example, kung daghan na kaayo og transaction, pwede sila mag-form og audit committee or election committee. Na at times nga mag-form pod sila og executive committee, kay kana is composed of director nga gi-appoint and pwede sila tagaan og powers through majority vote support. Example, like grabe na ka busy sa cooperative, tapos pwede sila maghimo og finance committee through handle and budget and disturbment. So the next one is what constitute a quorum. Unless by the laws define it otherwise, a quorum consists of 25% of all the regular members entitled to vote. For the board of directors, a simple majority of its members makes a quorum. So ang quorum is like the minimum number of people nga needed para legal ang meeting or decision making. Unless gi-charge sa bylaws, usually it's 25% of all regular members entitled to vote. Para sa board of directors, basta majority sa members present, okay na, quorum na siya. For example, na ay 100 regular members. Ang co-op kailangan at least 25 mo attend para mahimong valid ang meetings. So sa board nga na ay 7 members, at least 4 lang mo attend for quorum. And the next one is what are the general privilege enjoyed by cooperatives. These privilege are 3 right to deposit their valuable in government offices free of change with the government official acting as custodian of such valuables. The next is free use of space when the cooperative members are government employees in the same government office. And special types of co-ops like cold storage, electricity, transport, and similar services can open their membership to all persons qualified in their areas of operation. The next one is the preferential right to supply government offices with their produce in the allocation of fertilizer and rice distribution, use of batteries for shipment of their goods, and in the management of public markets. Next is entitlement to loans, credit line, and rediscounting of notes with government financial institution like PNB, Land Bank, and DBP. Exemption from pre-qualification requirements when bidding for a government project. Next is the right to be represented by the provincial or city fiscal or the office of the Solicitor General free of charge in legal suits. So okay guys, so daghan kayo perks ang mga cooperatives, especially kung registered and recognized sa CDA. So pwede sila mag-deposit og valuables sa government offices free of charge. So di na kinahanglan magbayad para sa security. Kung government employees ang member, pwede ra sila magamit og space sa government office. Napud tay mga special co-op like cold storage, electricity, transport, or etc. nga pwede to open anyone na qualified. So for example is kung ang co-op ninyo is transport co-op, pwede mo serve sa general public, dili lang sa members. Then preferential right to supply the government, like if na ay bidding sa fertilizer or rice distribution, co-ops ang unahon. Pwede po sila maka-avail og loans and credit lines for PNB, Land Bank, or DBP. Exempted sa pre-qualification kung mobid for a gov project. Plus kung naay kaso, the government can represent them for free through the office of the Solicitor General or City Provincial Fiscal. Example, let's say ang inyong farmers co-op is gusto mo supply og rice sa city government. Tagaan mo og priority over private companies. So the next one is how is the net surplus of a cooperative allocated and distributed. Generally, the distribution of cooperative surplus is determined by laws. Surplus is determined at the close of a co-op's fiscal year or as prescribed by laws. A cooperative surplus is not profit in the usual sense of the word. Surplus is considered excess payment by the members or the loans they borrowed or the goods on services they bought from the cooperatives. Firstly is prioritize or priority goes to the reserve fund at least 10% of the net surplus. The reserve funds is meant or stabilize co-op operation and may be used only for investments allowed by the code. Second is priority goes to the education and training fund, which is not more than 10% of net surplus. And the third is priority is an optional fund, a land and building fund, community development fund, and any other necessary funds. After all these have been allocated, the remainder is available to the general membership in the form of interest in his investment and patronage refund. Nevertheless, interest in share capital should exceed normal rate of return on investment. So, ang net surplus is siya ginatawag nga profit. It is more like sobra sa contribution or bayad sa members. Mauni ilang buhaton. First priority, 10% goes to the reserve fund. Marag emergency fund ni siya. Then the second is education and training fund. Max 10% para sa training sa members. Third is optional fund para sa land and building or community dev fund. Then the rest is distributed as interest on share capital or patronage refund. Example is if ang co-op naka-gain og 100,000 nga surplus, then 10,000 pesos goes to reserve, 10,000 pesos to education, then the rest is i-distribute based sa shares or usage. Then the next one is, can CDA intercede on behalf of the co-op members? So if the board of directors does not call regular or special meetings of the General Assembly, the CDA can, through a petition of 10% of all the members, issue an order directing the board to call for such meeting. So, yes, if the board of directors is wala ga call of meetings, ang CDA can step in basta na petition from at least 10% sa members. They can order the board to hold a meeting. Example, if naamoy 200 members, then at least 20 ka members need to sign a petition para mo action ang CDA. Second one is, how is the net surplus of a cooperative allocated and distributed? Generally, the distribution of a cooperative surplus is determined by laws. Surplus is determined at the close of a co-op fiscal year or as prescribed by laws. A cooperative surplus is not profit. In the usual sense of the word, surplus is considered excess payment by the members of the loans they borrowed or the goods and services they bought from the cooperative. So, a cooperative surplus is not a profit in the usual sense of the word. Surplus is considered excess payment by the members or the loans they borrowed of the goods and services they bought from the cooperative. So, just reinforce lang again ang privilege and surplus allocation. No need to worry kay nagbalik ra siya for emphasis. So, the last one is the Cooperative Development Authority is the only government agency that can register all types of cooperatives. Its main office is located on the 5th and 6th floors of Ben Lor Building, 1184 Quezon Avenue, Quezon City. To improve the services delivery, several extension offices have been established in the various locations, building the Dagupan City, Tugigaraw, Baguio City, Santo Tomas, Pampanga, Manila Extension Office, and many more in province. Once you have set up your cooperatives, your work is not finished. The cooperative needs legal recognition to operate properly. This legal status allows the cooperatives to borrow money, sells goods and services, deliver products, and engage in various business activities. To achieve this, you must register your cooperative. So, ang CDA is the government agency nga in charge sa registration and regulation sa tanan co-ops. Their main office is naa sa Quezon City, pero naapod sila yung mga branches nationwide. Example, if gusto nimo magtukod og sari-sari store cooperative sa inyong barangay, kailangan mo register sa CDA para mo legit and maka-avail og benefits. Once registered ang co-op, maka-loan, makabaligya, maka-deliver og services and more. Basically, it gives you a co-op a legal identity. So, maara to. Thank you.